Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about investment, and we're going to read page 200 to page 203 and then be answering these 6 questions. So the first question is, what is investment? And if you look on page 200, you can see investment occurs when people exchange their money for something of value with the expectation of earning a profit on it in the future. So it's spending money today for a future benefit. So you're sacrificing today for a future benefit. That's all basically what investment is. Now, as a part of investment, you have various financial plans. And there are 4 types, and you can see them on page 200. The first one is a spending and savings plan. That is also called a budget. It lists fixed expenses and flexible expenses. Fixed expenses, they may remain constant from month to month. Mortgage or rent is a good example of that. Flexible expenses vary. The amount of money you spend on movies, for example, would be a good example of a flexible expense. So the budget is just going to look at how much money you have coming in, how much money you are spending, and it looks at that relationship there. Your next plan is your investment plan. Okay, your investment plan is basically how you put your money to work. How do you invest your money? Do you invest it in stocks, where you basically are buying partial ownership of a company? Do you invest it in bonds, where you are basically buying a company or the government's debt for a return? It's important with an investment plan that you have diversification, meaning you choose a variety of investments, and we're going to talk about that a little later. Then you have a retirement plan. The retirement plan basically is a plan for how you're going to save your money for retirement. I'm sure all of you guys would like to retire one day, go sip pina coladas on a beach in Hawaii somewhere. And that can be expensive, so you do need to save money for that. And so therefore a retirement plan is necessary. There are various retirement plans out there. 401ks are a great example of or if pension is another good example of a vehicle in which you can go ahead and save for retirement. Then finally you have an estate plan. So an estate plan just takes a look at when you die, who gets your property. Okay, so once you are deceased, what happens to all of your assets? So those are your 4 types of financial plans. Now going back to number 3 here, the 2 examples of fixed expenses and flexible expenses. You can see there fixed expenses, it talked about mortgage, insurance premiums. Flexible expenses, they vary. Money for pizza, money for movies are a good example of flexible expenses there. Now going on to diversification for number 4. So what is diversification? Why is it important to an investment plan? So diversification, as you can see from the definition, means that a person chooses a variety of investments. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You invest in various things. So for example, let's say you work at Target, and you take your money from Target, you buy a bunch of Target stock. You buy a whole lot of Target stock. And then if you do that, and let's say Target goes bankrupt, then you are totally jacked because you've lost your job and you've lost all of your investment money because you put all your investment money in the stock of one company. That company goes under and you've lost all that money you've invested. To avoid this kind of scenario, you want to diversify. You want to choose a variety of investments, invest in a variety of stocks and bonds and so forth. So this allows you to kind of balance out the amount of risk in your portfolio and can create and does create a much more effective investment plan. All right, so let's move on here to number 5, real investment and how it's different from financial investment. So if you look at the definition for real investment. Okay, real investment is when investors use money to create a new capital good. Okay, now this is different than a financial investment. In a financial investment, the ownership of something is just transferred. Nothing new is being created. It's just a transfer of ownership. In real investment, you're actually creating new capital goods. Okay, so that is the big difference. All right, so now the type of investment that economists care about the most is real investment. And that's because real investment promotes economic growth. When you have real investment, you have new capital goods, so new machines, new factories, that kind of stuff. You have that kind of stuff being created. That is called capital accumulation. The economy is growing in the amount of capital it has, and that definitely promotes economic growth. And then you have technological change. When you have investment, oftentimes that investment leads to new technologies, and that stimulates economic growth. And then finally, you have entrepreneurship. Oftentimes, when you have capital accumulation, you have entrepreneurs associated with it coming up with ideas and marketing these ideas and starting their own businesses. And that, ladies and gentlemen, helps promote economic growth. All right, so we've got number 1 through 6 done there. So I will see you tomorrow, and I hope you have a fantastic evening.